Hello everyone, welcome to my class. Today we are going to discuss an interesting and very much useful topic for the discussion, that is accelerated stability testing. That is Dr. Zakir, Associate Professor, Department of Pharmaceutics, KLR College of Pharmacy. So in past videos we have discussed about the very much useful information. The same way we are going to proceeding for the next important topic for the discussion, accelerated stability studies. Before entering into the topic, let us have some definition about this accelerated stability testing. It is a modified method we use to quickly estimate the expiration date or lifespan of the products. When real-time data is unavailable, we carry out our accelerated stability studies by subjecting the product to an elevated level of stress, like controlled changes in temperature or humidity. This is the definition for accelerated stability studies. According to the WHO guidelines, according to the World Health Organization, the definition has framed like this. Accelerated stability testing is a modified method. It is one of the modified method we use to quickly estimate the expiration date of the life or lifespan of the product what you have prepared in the pharmaceutical industry. If you want to determine its shelf life, that how much time does the product will remain stable, then we have to go for then we have to undergo through the stability studies, stability conditions. When real-time data is unavailable, this method is followed only when the actual data, the practical data is not unavailable. At that time only we have to go for performing this type of studies, that is called as accelerated stability studies. We carry out our accelerated stability studies by subjecting the product to an elevated levels of stress, like controlled changes in temperature or humidity at a temperature of 37 degrees centigrade for duration of 24 hours, 48 and 72 hours or 90 days. In the days, if you take 30 days, 45 days, 90 days, you will go for performation of the stability studies based on various conditions and according to the guidelines. Many of the pharmaceutical industries, almost all of the pharmaceutical industries, they have to follow the accelerated stability testing to determine, to show the lifespan of the drug what you have prepared in the formulation. Then what we can say, the disturbance, if it is not properly uniform, then we can say that the product what we are submitted here, it is not uniform. Then what we can say, it is physically unstable. We can directly say that it is physically unstable. Hence we cannot go for further confirmation that this product has been physically stable. Likewise, chemically also we have discussed chemical integrity, its chemical structure, its chemical behavior should not change because of the stability problem. Because once the stability problem with chemical stability occurs, then there is an alternation in the integrity, labeled potency is going to be changed, then the drug whatever we are expected for the targeting, that is not going to be achieved. It may come for another, it will produce some other drawbacks. To avoid all these things, the chemical stability should be done the same way. Physical stability also we are performing. The similarly microbial stability, this microbial stability is performed with the intention that this stability should be sterile, means it should be free from bacteria, viral and fungal infections, so that it cannot be further not going for polluted. It should not go for polluted, and it should be free from the microbial bacteria, fungus. So to avoid all these things, the final product should be free from the microbial contamination. If you want to make it free from microbial contamination, even though the product has gone through the microbial examination during the pre-formulation or the formulation period, the final stage in the stability testing also, the microbial testing is very much required, very much important here. Likewise, similarly, the therapeutic stability. So if you see the therapeutic stability, drug should remain potent. Drug should remain potent means its therapy should not get affected. If the therapeutic effect of the drug is going to be affected, then finally what happened? The drug is not having that much if it show its effect. Similarly, the toxic stability. This stability is studied for the toxicity. Toxicity means should not be toxic. Means what here? Once the drug is ready and it is ready for the sending into the market. Before sending into the market, as we know that we are performing the stability studies, that it should not behave any toxic conditions. Means during the stability condition, during the storage condition, the product should not leach the chemicals. Can leach the chemicals means the chemical should not expel outside from the product, so that the product will become toxic. It should not become toxic means it should not change its color, odor, taste, and some other behavior it should not show, so that the toxicity has been increased in level. It should be in the optimum level. When it follows all these conditions, then only the product can be said as stable according to United States Pharmacopoeia. Now let us recall once again very fastly different. If you see the types of stability studies, one is physical chemical stability, chemical stabilities, microbiological chemical stability, therapeutic stability studies are there, and toxic stability studies are there. On the other end, I have written there that the condition to be maintained. What are the minimum condition, which are criteria to be followed, or minimum criteria to be observed while we are performing the stability studies. For chemicals, we need to observe chemical integrity. For physical appearance and palatability, uniformity. Microbiological, it should sterile. For therapeutic, a drug should remain potent, means its therapeutic effect should be remain as long as the stability studies has been performed. Unless and until we have removed the product from the stability chamber, its effect should not be altered. Similarly, the toxic effect, that is toxicity is going to be studied for the product. When we are keeping the product in the stability chamber, it should be same, and when we are removing, it should not be more toxic or less toxic. It should be in neutral condition. Next, stability testing problems. Some of the problems we are going to come across while performing the stability studies. That is, pharmaceutical products often may exhibit physical or chemical reactions that may end in instability. So, when the pharmaceutical products exhibit some physical chemical reaction, finally what it leads? Finally, it leads to the instability problem. Finally, the products is not going to be remain stable. This degradation may lead to reduced activity of the preparation. The preparation of activity of that preparation is going to be changed, or it has been reduced. Its activity is totally come down. Formation of toxic products. So finally, it becomes more toxic. Intelligent product, it becomes irregular and not acceptable. That type of products are going to be formed. When its physical or chemical proper reactions occurs in the stability chambers, at the time these degradation problems may going to be observed. Sterility testing is necessary to ensure the degradation has not exceed an acceptable level, assuring. Next, safety of the patient is very important, as well as activity of the product has to be observed. Next slide. In this next slide, we are going to observe about the degradation reaction, which includes hydrolysis, oxidation reduction reaction, racemization reaction, decarboxylation reaction, ring cleavage, photolysis, as well as isomerization reaction. So we have studied all these things, but once again let us recall once again the topic, hydrolysis. If you see the hydrolysis, then the hydrolysis is a process in which the oxidation involves the reaction of an organic chemical with water to form two or more new substance, and usually means the cleavage of chemical bond by the addition of water. In fact, hydrolysis can be the reverse of the conditioned reaction, in which two molecules join together into a large one and eject a water molecule. Thus, what we can say, thus the hydrolysis adds water to break down, whereas condensation builds up by removing the water. So this is what in short we can say the meaning of the hydrolysis. If we see the other topic next for the discussion, what is the next discussion? The next topic for the discussion is oxidation. If you see the meaning for oxidation, so it is a redox type of chemical reaction in which the oxidation state of atoms are changed. Redox reactions are characterized by the actual or formal transfer of electrons between chemical species, most often with one species undergoing oxidation with another species undergoes reduction. That is called as the oxidation process. These all things we have read, but for recall the subject once again I am discussing here. If you see the oxidation and combinedly reduction reactions, which is called as a redox reaction, a type of reactions that involves the transfer of electron between two species. An oxidation reduction reaction is any chemical reaction in which the oxidation number of molecules, atoms or ions changes by gaining or losing of the electrons, which is called as oxidation reaction. If you see the next one, if you see, that is the racemization. What is the meaning for racemization? We can say here, as you can say like that, that is a process wherein optically active compounds which consist of only one enantiomer are converted into an equal mixture of enantiomers with zero optical activity. Racemization rate are dependent on the molecules and conditions such as pH and the temperature, that type of effects are called as a racemization effect. Then we can see another method which is called as decarboxylation reaction, or we can say decarboxylation test. So in the decarboxylation is a chemical reaction that involves a carboxyl group and release carbon dioxide. Usually decarboxylation refers to a reaction of carboxylic acid removing a carbon atom from a carbon chain. The reverse process, which is the first chemical step in photosynthesis, is called carboxylation. If you remember the process of photosynthesis, then it will become easy for you to remember what is decarboxylation. In addition of carbon dioxide to a compound, enzyme that catalyzes the decarboxylation are called decarboxylase, or the more formal term which is called as decarboxylysis. Carboxylysis is also called as decarboxylation. Now we can study the next topic for the discussion, that is ring cleavage. So what is this ring cleavage? If we discuss the ring cleavage is a process in which there is a reaction going to be observed in the conditions such as the cleavage molecule remains as a single unit. The bond breaks, but the two fragments remains attached by other parts of the structure. Example, we can say epoxide ring can be opened by heterocyclic cleavage of one of the polar carbon oxygen bonds to give a single acyclic structure. To give a acyclic structure is called as ring cleavage. Now that is the next topic for the discussion, that is photolysis. So if you see what is photolysis, we can explain the photolysis like this. It is a decomposition or separation of the molecule by the action of the light. Or photolysis is a chemical process by which molecules are broken down into smaller units through absorption of light. That is called as a photolysis. The last one we can discuss here, that is called as isomerism. If you see what is the meaning for isomerism, isomerization we can say. The name itself indicating iso means similar. In chemistry we can say isomerization is the process in which a molecule, ion or molecular fragment is transformed into an isomer with a different chemical structure. So that is the process called as a isomerization. Enolization is an example of isomerization, as it tautomerization. We can say example for the isomerization. So in this isomerization, the transformation of molecule into different isomers are going to be observed, which is called as isomerization. Next, accelerated stability testing. Now we can discuss what is accelerated stability testing. In pharmaceutical formulations are stored, as we discussed in the previous slides, under normal conditions their instabilities are detectable after only long storage conditions, and such methods are sometimes consuming or uneconomical. They are uneconomical because if the product is go on storing for some hours together and days together, it is not economical for the employer or the company manager for maintaining all these conditions. To overcome these problems, preparations are tested under stress conditions, which will accelerate decomposition at a faster rate. By this, instabilities can be detected. Now coming to shelf life, that is the T90, time required to reduce the concentration to 90% of its initial concentration is called as a T90, that is equal to 0.105 by K. Stability of formulation can be determined by the shelf life. Any formulation stability, if you want to determine, then it can be only determined with the help of the shelf life. So shelf life of the product is very much required, very much important, very much desirable, because if you don't know the shelf life of the product, then we cannot explain, we cannot go for further steps. We cannot mention that what is the life of the and how long does the product will remain stable. To understand that one, we have to understand about the shelf. Phase calculation of shelf life. If we see here order on the top of the heading, order, x-axis, y-axis, half-life and shelf life. Order of the reaction: 0 order, first order, second order, A equal to B, A not equal to B, and third order reactions. So at the time we can see x-axis we have given the time, on y-axis we have taken the results what you have obtained here, and half-life and shelf life also obtaining the same result. Arrhenius equation. Temperature is probably the most common acceleration factor used for chemicals, pharmaceuticals and biological products, since its relationship will the degradation rate is well characterized by the Arrhenius equation. According to the Arrhenius, for every 10 degrees centigrade rise in temperature, the speed of reaction increases about 2 to 3 times. K is equal to A small e minus E capital E small a by RT. Now let us see, A is the Arrhenius factor, it is a common factor, and EA capital E and small a is the energy of activation, R is the gas constant. Arrhenius factor is frequency of molecular collision occurring between the molecules. It can be given by the equation log K is equal to log A minus EA by 2.303. Prediction of the shelf life. How the shelf life can be predicted? The stability of an active component in a pharmaceutical preparation can be evaluated by determining some property of degradation. That is, color disappearance, temperature dependency of degradation can be obtained with help of Arrhenius equation. Preparation made of 5 portions stored at different temperatures. What are the temperatures? Let us see now. One is the 40 degrees, 50 degrees, 60, 70, 80 degrees centigrade, degrees Celsius. Samples are withdrawn at different intervals. Order of reaction is determined by plot of time and concentration. By Arrhenius equation from the graph K, value at 25 degrees can be known, used to estimate time during which drug remain potent. Appropriate calculation is carried out to find out the amount of drug to be added in excess or overage. By performing the shelf life of a drug, one can able to determine what is the at what temperature the drug can withstand the temperature, and also we can able to determine how much amount of the dose is required for the formulation can be determined by using the prediction of the shelf life. Here is the graph. We can observe from the graph that is log K and 1 by T value on the x-axis and 1 upon T on the log K, and on the right hand side days to 90% log scale. So as the percentage increases, we can see the concentration as the time prolongs. What happens as the temperature is reduced, the temperature is going to be reduced. Initially it is exposed to high temperature, then slowly the temperature of the product has been come down, or reducing temperature of the product is reduced down. Thereby we can observe there is no changes in the stability is been observed. The stability of the product remains same. In the starting temperature of 80 degrees, it is remains same at the temperature of 25 degrees centigrade also. Storage conditions. The stability studies, the some parameters we are going to focus here. Stability studies, storage condition, testing frequency in months. Stability studies, if you see accelerated stability studies are there, which is maintained at a temperature of 40 degrees plus or minus 2 and 75 degrees plus or minus 5 degrees relative humidity RH. And the testing frequency is 0 month, means starting 1 month, 2 months, 3 and up to 6 months maximum we are proceeding for the accelerated stability studies. Along with the next one, that is intermediate stability studies. If you go for the intermediate stability studies, the temperature storage conditions, the temperature we are maintaining here for intermediate, as the name itself indicating that this intermediate stability studies is lying between accelerated as well as long-term stability. In between accelerated, in between and long term, the intermediate line is going to be observed. In the intermediate stability studies, we are maintaining the minimum temperature of 30 degrees and maximum it will reaches up to the 65 degrees centigrade, which is 10 degrees less when compared to accelerated stability studies. And when we see the testing frequency with the accelerated stability studies, the testing frequency of the intermediate and accelerated stability studies will vary from 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, 24 and 36, whereas accelerated maximum it will reaches from 0 to 6, whereas in the intermediate stability studies at the starting of the frequency is 3 and maximum it goes to 36 months, it goes to nearly more than 2 years it is going for stability testings. If you see the last one, that is long-term stability, which is somewhat here the temperature exposure is very less. It is starting minimum of 25 degrees we have to maintain and maximum of 60 degrees centigrade we have to maintain. When we see the upper tables and compare, when you go for comparison with intermediate and accelerated, its temperature conditions are very less when compared to accelerated intermediate. Its temperature conditions are very low, whereas the frequency, testing frequency is very low, very more. Why? Because the temperature at at less temperature, the product can remain. They will see the up to 60 months. Up to 60 months, they will see whether the product will remain stable or it will become unstable or it will degrade or damage. Whatever the changes they are observing, they are going to be noted down. So this is the storage conditions during the stability studies, accelerated stability studies, intermediate and long term. Only three common differences we are observing here, that is temperature is difference and as well as the frequency, testing frequency in months, they are totally different when compared to accelerated, intermediate and long term stability studies. As per ICH guidelines, WHO and FDA guidelines, what is the storage conditions we have to maintain? Let us see now. Storage condition for accelerated testing according to ICH and WHO is 40 degrees centigrade plus or minus 2 degrees centigrade. 75 RH is to be maintained. If the product is unstable in above conditions, intermediate conditions are used, such as what is the intermediate condition, that is 30 degrees centigrade and 65 RH has to be maintained. FDA prescribes 0, 2, 4 and 6 months of frequency interval, whereas for WHO prescribed it is 1, 2, 3 and 4 up to 6 months. It is going to be the frequency, sampling time frequency. And now ICH prescribes 3 months in 1 year and frequency of 6 months in 2 years and then annually. This is according to FDA, WHO and ICH guidelines given, that is the frequency, whereas the temperature, regarding temperature, ICH and WHO will remain same, whereas the testing frequency varies when compared to FDA, when compared to WHO, when compared to ICH. Each and every standards, each and every organization, they are claiming their own importance. Limitations, if we see in accelerated stability studies, valid only when the breakdown depends on temperature. The energy of activation obtained in the study should be between 10 to 30 kilocalories per mole. It is not useful when degradation is due to microbial contamination, photochemical reaction, diffusion, excessive agitation, when the product loses its physical integrity at higher temperature, when the order changes at elevated temperature. The energy of activation obtained in the study should be between 10 to 30 kilocalories per mole according to the WHO guidelines. According to ICH guidelines, it is not useful when the degradation is due to microbial. If it is the product has been degraded with the microbial contamination, then the product is not at all useful. If it has been degraded with photochemical reaction, then also it is not useful for the product. If it is product has been damaged due to diffusion process, during the diffusion process, then also it is not considered as a good valid product. And excessive agitation also, it is not valid for that product. When the product loses its physical integrity at high temperature, when the order changes at elevated temperature. GMP and expiration date. Good manufacturing practice required for drug stability, expiration date and FDA guidelines for stability studies contain significant and specific information related to conducting stability studies and assessing expiration date. GMP is mainly focusing for its expiry date as well as other parameters. Each product expiration date related to the specific storage condition which is stated on the label. Stability includes number, product number and size of the container for sample testing in product. Market, adequate number of branches, number of batches, etc. are going to be considered for the according to GMP and expiration date. Expiration date derived from stability studies. Drug products packed in different packs, it retains expiration date if the packaged can assure the FDA that the repacked container is as good as original packaged product. Specification can be maintained throughout the period of the duration. So this is the end of the slide. So I would like to thank all the supporters, those who are supporting me for encouraging me for making more such informative videos. I would like to one and all thank you very much for your support, and kindly keep your love as it is. As such, you are showing me so that I can get back to you with more updated and latest information videos, so that it will helpful for our budding pharmacists. Thereby, they can upgrade their knowledge by using such informative videos. Kindly like, share, and subscribe my videos for updated information. Thank you one and all.